all-time favorite Sims challenges is where you build a house, but each room is a different randomized idea. So for example, you might do one where each room is a different random color, or each room is themed after a different townie, both of which I have done YouTube videos for, by the way. But my favorite one of these to do by far is where each room is a different budget. I think just because there's so much room for disaster in this, you basically build a house and then go to furnish the bedroom and say you get only like 200 simoleons to furnish it, but then maybe with the hallway you get like 10,000 simoleons and the house is just a complete mess. It'll all start to make sense once we're actually doing it, but we've obviously got to build a house first. I'm thinking that maybe this time we could even randomize the price of the exterior. So I've got this random number generator and we'll see what the budget is. 6,145. Okay, I think that's doable. I guess the question is, are we including windows and stuff in that or just the walls? Because I was picturing just drawing the walls and then having, oh, that's not enough money. I might need to redo this. We might need to have a higher max because I don't know if I can afford all those walls with such a small budget. Let's try this again. Oh my God. Okay, I made it worse. We have 5,882 now. You know what? Let's just commit, okay? We decided this is the rule. The problem with this sort of challenge is that you kind of need a lot of walls because normally you might have like the kitchen and dining room in one, but when you're doing like a randomized challenge, you want to have them be separate because then you can like have a different budget for each. Okay, you know what? We could actually probably afford this. So here's what I've got so far. I realize it looks very odd, but right now I'm imagining like a small entryway, the living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, and one bedroom. Well, now I'm kind of wondering if we could maybe afford another bedroom, because if we did it like this, I realize this is kind of hard to follow, but I'm picturing like living room, dining room, kitchen. This is more of a hallway, and then we have like bedroom, and a big bathroom. This house is like super long and skinny, but we kind of managed to afford all of the walls. I think I might try and add a couple things just to make it look slightly more interesting. I don't know, I guess just like a couple extra shapes so it's a little less flat. I'm gonna call it a day with the walls there, but I think that we have to cheat to like have at least one light per room and also a door for every room, because we can't just have a not functional house. If we don't get enough money to afford doors, then we're doomed. I feel like we should be allowed to add those in without it counting towards the budget, just because otherwise the house doesn't work. I almost want to like open up the walls though and have like a sort of fake open floor plan, because we could still furnish like these 3 rooms separately, but at least this way it feels a little bit more open. Okay, now we can generate the cost of windows. All right, 4,500, 4,553 to be exact. I feel like we could probably afford windows with that much money. Is that the cost of the entire exterior or just windows? I guess I didn't really think that part through. I probably should have put more thought into this before I just like started doing it, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't like love the shape of this house. I kind of messed up here. Maybe I should make it a little smaller and then extend this out or something. I guess just so it's all even, because it'll be a little bit easier to do the roof on it that way. The cats and dogs windows are like sort of reasonably priced, so I'm gonna use those on the exterior. And then I think I want the front door to be like on the side of the house, so you enter in here. You know what? These windows are actually kind of cheap. I've managed to put them like all over the place and I didn't even spend that much. I'm trying to think a little bit logically here about what I want this area to look like, and I'm kind of leaning towards not putting any windows on this wall because I might want to put a TV there. I guess assuming we can afford to put a TV there, but that's kind of the goal. So I might leave that part blank. This is going to be the dining room. The kitchen's going to be in here. So depending on money, I might want to put the sink like under a window or something, and then we'll have 2 bedrooms. They've both got plenty of windows. I think I might paint the house orange. I never use this swatch because I think it's kind of ugly, but this whole house is probably going to end up being kind of ugly. Like I'm probably not going to have enough money to furnish it. So if we're going to do it, now's our chance. I feel like that tiny budget is stretching a lot farther than I thought it would on the exterior. I've made a lot of good progress with like landscaping and stuff. I think I might add in a fence, even if we can't like actually fence anything in. I just sort of like how it looks. You know what? I'm pretty happy with that. I think it looks like a finished house from the outside, and now we just have to worry about the inside, which might end up being a little more difficult. I think this entryway is the most logical place to start, so for that room, we will have a budget of 512 simoleons. Okay, that's kind of concerning actually, so wish me luck. I think I might try and use a different wood floor. I've never used this one before. Unfortunately, we also have to pay for wallpaper, but I guess if any room is gonna end up being like super cheap, this is probably the best one for it to happen to. And we can try some tricks, like putting up patterned wallpaper instead of artwork, because the art's too expensive. I'm a little worried that we might end up doing a lot of that in this house, but at least some of these things are like reasonably priced, right? Oh no, I kind of want to put like a mirror or something above this, but even the mirrors are too expensive. These ones are a little bit ugly, so I don't really want to use one of those. The art is almost definitely too expensive. I could like do this one and size it up, but it's not that cute. I think I might have to do that. And then if I put that plant, I've got one simoleon left. So I think that's the best we can do in this hallway. In the living room, I might put the max up a little bit higher actually, now that I think about it, because we got to buy like a TV and stuff. But in this room, no. Oh, we only have 1,946. Okay, that's gonna be difficult, especially if I want to buy a TV. This is the kind of time where that trick where you put like carpet down instead of a rug because it's free will come in handy. I guess the only problem is I don't really like how any of these look. Unfortunately, these base game sofas are a really good price, so I might have to use those. That coffee table is also not too expensive. Oh no, the problem is the TV is so expensive. Okay, maybe I'll only do one couch. Okay, I might try and get into debug a little bit. Eco Lifestyle has a lot of really cheap debug items. Honestly, Eco Lifestyle's got a lot of just cheap stuff in general. Like one of those little bookshelves might be a good idea. This one's only 65 simoleons and it fills in like the whole wall. I guess these little TVs from the trash are pretty cheap too, so I could always use one of those. That saves me a ton of money. I'm gonna invest in a second light. We get one light for free, but I think I want another one. Okay, these curtains are kind of cheap. I wonder if we could use those. I could probably like really embrace this whole orange thing in here. Okay, well, it's maybe like a little bit ugly in here. I don't think I like these curtains. I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I could use this color because that kind of works with the rug. I guess we could even do like a gray sofa. How much does this cost? Oh, that's only 265. That actually feels like really cheap to me. I could probably do a couple of the chairs then, or maybe just one in the corner or something. How does the light yellow look? I will say the room is like really empty. It's not ideal, but this isn't terrible. I might even spend some of our money just to get some extra windows because we can't afford like any wall decor really. This thing's only 210. That's cheap, and it gives us like a skill building object in here. The thermostat costs 125. I was gonna try and add that in as like a cheap little extra thing, but never mind. We can't have a thermostat. You know what? I think this is okay. Considering how much money we don't have a lot left. It's not terrible. And I'm gonna try and do the kitchen next. This one has serious potential to be terrible, but no, 8,164. Okay, at least we've got money for the kitchen. That's fine. That was a real concern of mine, that we would like not have enough money to buy kitchen appliances and the house wouldn't be functional, but it looks like we're okay. It's easy to forget just how pricey the cabinets can be as well, but miraculously we can afford to put them everywhere, and I think we can even get a dishwasher, which I don't always include. Is this like super ugly? I'm trying out a different sort of style in here. I'm also realizing that I'm gonna need to put in like pet stuff, which I didn't really leave space for, but maybe I could just do that in the dining room, or is that a bad idea? Is it like not smart to count on having enough money in the dining room to put pet stuff? Maybe. I think I'm gonna prioritize the counter space in this one, which is like almost definitely a terrible idea. Oh no, I didn't put a trash can. Okay, so I'm not putting an indoor trash can. I'm just gonna put this one and take it out of my kitchen budget. And you know what? Somehow with all of this money, like this giant budget, I still feel like I don't have enough to furnish the kitchen properly. Like to me, this still feels like it's kind of lacking. I added in this pots and pan rack, which is kind of cute. You know what I really should include is a fire alarm. We've learned from my Sims. I need to have one of those everywhere I go. And then maybe I'll leave the rest of the counter space open just so you can actually cook in here. And next, we gotta worry about the dining room, which we've got, okay, 5,123 is actually a lot. My biggest concern with this was mostly just making sure I got the pet stuff because I failed to include that in the kitchen. But we can get like pet stuff and a real table table and probably decorate it with this much money. I'm feeling really tempted to just like pick some ridiculous colors. Like I kind of want to use this orange rug, but that doesn't match anything. There's no orange in here. Maybe this color rug like ties everything together a bit better. Oh, we can use the eco lifestyle table though. We can also get like a kind of pretty light. I might use the opportunity to also get a big bookshelf because I'm not sure if I'll be able to fit one like anywhere else in the house. And I could probably use the same curtain to like continue the theme around. Although I don't like love how it looks. Maybe I'll use this one from the hallway. Is this good or bad? I'm not 100% sure. I think it's okay. I'm definitely getting an automatic pet feeder, and I think we could probably also get some art. Maybe even something that has a little bit more color to it. Maybe we could do something like this and like have the art framed in between the archway and the bookshelf. I think that actually looks kind of good. Annoyingly, we have like loads of money, which I just know is gonna suck when I get to the rest of the house. I think I'm done. I'm just gonna leave it and we're gonna do the bathroom next. I'm putting the max a little bit lower in the bathroom just to like increase the chance of disaster. Okay, yeah. We got 973 simoleons. So we need to have obviously a shower, a sink, and a toilet. Can you even afford all of those things? Oh, oops, I already painted this tile. Is that okay? Can I just leave that? Does it matter? It was one tile. No, fine, I'll get rid of the 2 simoleons. We can't cheat. Oh my god, that costs 80 simoleons? That seems a little ridiculous to me. I mean, the toilet paper is 50, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I don't think we can afford anything else. At least it's functional. That's the best we can do. Next is the hallway. I won't lie, I'm not super nervous about this. Yeah, okay. 1,599 simoleons. Wow, I hope I have enough to furnish the hallway. I hope that I can afford to buy hallway furniture with 1,600 simoleons. I might bring this yellow back from the living room and do it in here. I don't know about the color scheme of this house, to be honest. I'm trying to be interesting, but I don't know if it's working. Well, you know what? Maybe I could use that really expensive bookshelf again. That could be kind of fun. Put some artwork and then maybe just like a little rug or something. This is okay. Somehow I spent all of that money, but it actually looks kind of nice. The next room is the kids' room and we only have 761. Okay, that I'm a little bit more worried about. That is gonna be a little bit more difficult. I might have to use just like the cheap base game stuff because the bed itself is 240, nightstand's 45. I only have 416 left. I mean, you could buy like a little dresser. We could probably get like a blarfy. The nifty knitting rugs are free, so maybe I could use one of those and then have like something on the floor. This wallpaper kind of ties together the color scheme a little bit with the purple and the blue. Oh my god, this is difficult. I feel like everything is so expensive. Maybe I could give the kid a couple of toys on the dresser. These paintings are only 30, so maybe I could like size one up. This room is not the best. We got 9 simoleons left. I don't really know what you can even do with that. We could get some things like spider webs or like some of these. Oh, how about this? That's only 5. Oh, okay, that helps. Little like height chart on the wall. Other than that though, I don't think we can do much more. Okay, and the last room, which will hopefully go a little bit better, is the parents' bedroom with 2,222. That's not a lot, but we could probably get a bed in there with that. I would also like to have a computer, but this room is kind of small. Okay, well, it looks like we're gonna be using the cheapest base game bed. Despite all of my best attempts to do something different, we always end up back here. I'm thinking about rearranging this a little bit. I'm wondering if I put this door further over, if I could maybe get like a desk or at least a dresser here, because I could probably fit this here. I don't think I'll be able to fit a desk in this house. I guess money-wise, we can't either anyway, because it would be too expensive to like pay for the desk and pay for the computer. Like we wouldn't be able to afford to get anything else. I'm trying to make it seem like a little bit brighter and more cheery in here with the yellow accents. We have a decent amount of money, so maybe I could try and get like a really nice painting. Maybe like this one, like the sunflower painting. That's like the whole budget, but it's kind of fun. And then maybe the last thing could just be like a little set of dog toys or something for the pet. It's not great, but all things considered, this house actually turned out kind of okay. I feel like I had way lower expectations, but it almost kind of works. And I actually really like the floor plan as well. Like, it's kind of laid out nicely. The biggest flop is definitely this living room. I think we managed to make these bedrooms work pretty okay despite like the budget situation. This was the hardest part. And even with that, I feel like we still managed to make it work. If you liked this video, I've done a couple other challenges like this where I've tried to build a house with a random budget. One of the times I literally couldn't even afford wallpaper in the room. So I'll link one of those videos down below for you. Thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, everybody, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. I think the kitchen is probably my favorite part of this house. I'm really glad that we actually got money for the kitchen because I was worried about that one.